The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Rental assistance on Triad today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the beautiful Senior Botanical Garden in Cunnersville. We'll tell you more about them later on, and later on is when the roundtable shows up, and we'll get into all sorts of controversy with those guys, so stay tuned for that. Between now and then, some great guests, important information coming your way, including a discussion about a program that helps with rental assistance, that and much more. But where we want to start is with a return visitor to the show, one of our great friends, Chief John Thompson, who's Chief of Police for the city of Greensboro. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I want to start on kind of a sad note. Late last year, your department lost a really brave and selfless officer, Sergeant Dale Nix. I guess my question is, how do you feel about the way the community has stepped up and responded to that tragedy? Yeah,
it's something I hoped I would never have to deal with, especially as a chief, to lose an officer. And really the best word I can say, and I think the family has shared it with me, is really just overwhelming. The support from the community for the police department, for the officers, for the Nix family it's really been overwhelming. We see it from multiple organizations, multiple areas, and it's just, it helps for us to be able to heal as a department, and I think it helps the Nix family to be able to heal.
Absolutely. All right, let's tie that into another sad fact, which is that homicides have gone up in the city. So you can comment on that if you want to or not, but I guess the other part of the question is that true of all crimes?
Yeah, unfortunately last year in the city of Greensboro, we set a record for our homicides at 74. And what makes it so difficult is that unlike homicides, almost every other violent crime category was down. As a whole, we were down 3% for violent crime.
Okay. You're talking about robberies and things like that?
Yeah, sexual assaults, aggravated assaults with firearms, simple assaults, a number of those categories we saw decreases. And unfortunately, we just happened to see an increase in that homicide, and we're really trying to figure out why, try to understand more as to what is driving that specific crime.
When you were on the show last year and just getting started as chief, we were still in a period of time where there was sort of a staffing shortage. Now that seems to have abated a little bit. Where were we then? Where are we now? And what are you doing to attract folks?
Yeah, so we were suffering significantly with staffing. Not only people leaving the organization, but an inability to bring people into the department. And we have seen that change over the last year. And I really attribute that to a few things. One is City Council took a bold step in raising our salaries. We were at $46,000 as a starting salary. We're now at $55,000.
Okay.
Along with that, and a number of other incentives for hiring folks in military, language incentives, things like that, really has made our department competitive in the region. Actually, I would say that we're probably leading in a number of those areas.
That's great.
So that is one big aspect that has helped people to want to stay at our department, not leave, and then bring folks in. And the other one is just the outward support from the council and our community for the police department.
Before I let you go, let's talk about technology for a second. You use a lot of technology, you and your officers. Are you planning on introducing new high-tech devices or programs in the coming year?
Yeah, we've actually just stood up our Real-Time Intelligence Center, which is a center that's staffed with officers who can monitor surveillance cameras, license plate readers, provide real-time information to the officers responding to crimes, provide investigative follow-up. And so we're building that out now, and that's something we're introducing to the community this year.
Right. Well, I appreciate all you're doing in the community, and let me take just a few moments to put some things up on screen as far as recruiting and getting folks interested in the jobs with the department. You can learn more by going to www.gpdcareers.com. That's gpdcareers.com. And also you can go to p2c.greensboro-nc.gov for more information. Chief Thompson, I know you're going to come back and visit us some the rest of the year, and we look forward to those visits. And thanks for all you do for the community.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
The world's brightest are Fulbrights, Goldwaters, McNairs, and Spartans. Prestigious doesn't have to be expensive.
And we know you will make a difference wherever you go.
UNCG. Find your way here.
Back on Triad today, I always like to spend a few minutes with the good folks from Inmar Intelligence when they can spare us a few minutes and drop by. And we have a first-time visitor from Inmar with us right now. Kathleen Dalton is Interim Chief Human Resources Officer at Inmar Intelligence. Good to see you, Kathleen.
Nice to see you, Jim.
Let's just, before we get to some other things, the main topic, I want to ask you, just for people that maybe have not tuned in before or seen one of our segments with Inmar, what does Inmar do and how do what you do impact on the lives of people every day?
Inmar is a data and technology company. Our technology makes it easier for brands, retailers, and healthcare providers to better understand, predict, and meet the needs of their consumers.
Sure.
So what does that mean? So in 2023, Inmar's technology helped save Americans $10 billion.
Wow.
It was with our incentives and loyalty technology in partnership with grocers.
And just knowing what the supply and demand is going to be and couponing and all that stuff, and you end up saving that much money for people.
That's right, that's right. The other, in 2023, our technology being used by retailers and pharmacies saved over 250 million tons of waste going to landfill.
Wow. Man, so I didn't realize you were having that much of an impact on, I knew you were helping people because I've, talked with your folks before, but helping the ecology like that in the environment, that's amazing. Now, Inmar's been around in this area for, nearly 43 years.
Yeah.
And so people think, wow, it's a big company, it's an important company, you guys do a great job, but are you looking for future growth? Are you fine where you are? Or what are you doing to try to work for the future?
So Inmar's been a great company for 43 years. As a matter of fact, 2023 was the company's best year in our history.
Man.
That was both top and bottom line growth. But we're not satisfied. The leadership team of Inmar is absolutely committed to accelerate our growth, and with the goal of scaling the company and essentially doubling our business in the next 5 years. The intent is for Inmar to be one of the best mid-cap companies in the country.
Wow. Y'all do great work. Now, you're also known for, and we don't have enough time to go in, we can spend an hour talking about all the great things you do in the community, but you're known for fostering leadership, developing talent within Inmar, as well as trying to mentor young people coming up, which is for another show. But when you're talking about leadership and developing talent, how are you continuing to do that in today's job market with your associates?
So we're making a really big investment this year. So for context, when we talk about 2023 having been our best year and not being satisfied, we're in the process of very aggressively reimagining how we innovate, reimagining how we go to market, and reimagining how we develop talent. Technology is changing so fast. Some pundits will tell you our technology will grow in the next 20 years more than it had in the last 100. And so being prepared to be able to be successful and lead with that level of change, quite frankly, makes Inmar stand apart from our competition. Inmar gets better because of change. I like to say it's our superpower.
Yeah, I'm personally afraid of change, but that's okay.
But Inmar gets better with change and anticipating what's required. And when we do that, as we think about leaders, how do we build the next generation of leader today? Gotcha. So we're looking to develop folks that can develop and lead the talent with the skills, the mindset,
right,
the resiliency, and quite frankly, the endurance to be successful while we aggressively grow this business.
If I wasn't afraid of change and I wasn't so old, I'd just come work for you. That's just, it's a great, you got a great team there.
We do have a great team.
Thanks for doing this. Oh, I almost forgot. I was running my mouth here. I want to show something on the screen. NMAR.com is the website. NMAR.com for NMAR Intelligence to find out more information. Kathleen Dawn, will you come back sometime?
I'd love to.
Thanks. Appreciate it. We'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today is now streaming on WFMY Plus, available free on Roku and Amazon Fire TV.
Spartans are the teachers, artists, nurses, scientists, and leaders who build our communities.
Back now on Triad Today, always glad when we can spend a few minutes with some of the good folks from PTRC, and one of them is with us now. He was with us back in August, so we're glad he could stop by on this particular program. Michael Blair is Director of Community Development for the Piedmont Triad Regional Council. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you for having me. It's good to be back.
For those who might not have seen some of our segments before, and they say, PTRC, what's that? Just remind people about the mission of PTRC.
Okay, well, the mission of the PTRC is to improve the lives of communities through creative regional solutions. That's done through several programs that we have. The Area Agency on Aging, like Meals on Wheels and senior centers and workforce and economic development, kind of self-explanatory.
Coming up with better ways for them to do what they do to serve people.
Exactly. Planning, regional planning, criminal justice, member services, and of course community development, which is mostly housing, but it also includes Section 8 program.
All right, now let's, you sent me an email about something called Rental Assistance Program. I'm pretty sure I know what that is, but I don't know the details, so tell me about the Rental Assistance Program.
Sure. The Section 8, or Housing Choice Vouchers, it's also called, we have that program in Surrey, Stokes, Yadkin, and Davie counties, which kind of surround Forsyth County.
Right.
It's a rental assistance program. If somebody's income eligible and eligible for the program, and a landlord agrees to have participate in the program, then we pay a portion of their rent. In our 4 counties, our average is about $360 a month.
Okay. Now, when you say they're eligible, is there anything folks should know before they try to apply that you want them to know?
It's complicated. Eligibility it's income eligibility, so it's based on incomes.
Right.
Okay. It's also based on the rent of what you're trying to.
You're going to factor in both of those.
They're factoring in rent, household size. We make those calculations for people to apply.
I got you. I just want to make sure it's clear. Now, you mentioned landlords. How can landlords and property owners get involved and participate in what you're trying to do with this?
Well, first off, they have to understand what it is. They also have to agree to participate. It's a benefit mainly because it provides assistance, rental assistance to your tenants that prevents them from possibly being evicted. So it's eviction prevention.
Okay.
It's stabilizing low-income households. I mean, I know a lot of rental properties and property managers have people that try to pay their rent every month. They're on a fixed income,
right,
or they're on disability, or they're a large family, single income. They need the help. You can help us by letting them know about the program.
But if I'm a landlord, I'm watching the program and say, well, that sounds great, Michael, but I'm a landlord, and what's my responsibility? What all am I going to have to do?
It's almost exactly the same as if we weren't involved. You're going to have to sign a lease. You're going to have to maintain the property when something breaks. The only difference is when something happens to the household composition, maybe somebody passes away or something, or moves somebody in off lease, you need to notify our office so we can make sure that we handle it correctly.
Now let's talk about the application process, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess we're looking at this from 2 different standpoints, the rentor and the landlord or the property owner. Now, is this a complicated application process? Do people need to come to your office? Can it be done online? Help me understand.
No, that's a trick question. We do have an online system, however, it's not working right now. So they need to come into an office, and there's no appointments. You just come into an office in one of our 4 counties, and you fill out an application. Once an eligibility is determined, then you're asked to bring in other information to verify that income.
All right. This sort of, I guess, before I was going to show some information on screen. Before I do that, all this that you're talking about with rental assistance, that sort of really ties back into your mission, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a determinant of health. You know, shelter is someplace we all spend the night in, and it's connected to criminal justice. It's connected to the aging program. It's connected to workforce. It's just improving the lives of people in our community. And back to how does this person apply? It's 336-904-0334.
Okay, I'm going to put that. I'm glad you mentioned that up on screen. There it is, 904-0334. Now you can go to the website, which is ptrc.org. Again, I'll say it, ptrc.org, 336-904-0334. Michael, thanks for all you guys do in the community. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
A brighter energy future starts today, and we're ready. We're leading the clean energy transition, cutting carbon emissions even while improving reliability, adding more renewables like solar and wind, all while managing our costs to help keep energy affordable for everyone. We're Duke Energy, and we're building a smarter energy future for you.
Fly local, fly easy, fly PTI.
Back now on Triad today, time to have a conversation with Mr. Theater. If you've watched the show a lot, and if you haven't, shame on you. But if you've watched the show a lot, you know who Mr. Theater is. He's right here with us, Dave Briggs, director, High Point Theater. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you, Jim.
You have been traveling, so before we get to talking about some really great shows that are coming up, I want to ask you, you just returned from an important conference. What was it? Who attended it? What was the deal?
Certainly. So this was the North Carolina Presenters Consortium, and it's a group of presenters. There are like 160 of us within North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Tennessee, some West Virginia folks.
And you run theaters?
And we run theaters, and we're basically the talent buyers for our towns, our venues, and so on. And so this was our block booking meeting, and we do a winter block booking meeting, we do a fall block booking meeting. And so what we do is we get together and we say, hey, I'm really interested in bringing in X artist. And then going around the table, folks say, yeah, I'd like to buy that artist too, because there's power in multiple dates.
So if I'm in Fayetteville and I'm sitting there at a meeting with you in your annual meeting, and you want to get Ben Vereen, and I want to get Ben Vereen, then
we talk to one another, and we'll try to work out a time frame, a timeline, dates, and then one of us will reach out to the agent and say, hey, I've got 2 dates for Ben.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
And then we put it together, and usually what happens is we can get a little lower rate on the artist. So whether it's Ben Vereen or Take Six or a magician or
and that would ostensibly hold the cost down on the back end too, right? Instead of having to charge $10 extra, then
that's right.
For a concert.
Yeah.
And see, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I used to in the old days when I was doing a lot of Broadway. I mean, we were saving tens of thousands of dollars because we would book together a whole series for across the state, across the region.
Right.
That was great.
Okay. What if I'm in a city and I don't like you?
Then don't come.
Okay, that's right. All right, let's talk about 2 shows coming up I want folks to know about. Take Six. I'll confess, I don't know much about Take Six. Saturday, February 17th at 7:30 p.m. Tell me about Take Six.
Okay, so Take Six is the preeminent a cappella group. Quincy Jones, I love this quote, I have to read it.
Love Quincy
Jones says, baddest vocal cats on the planet.
Wow.
And I mean, they are phenomenal. They have 10 Grammys. I have to read this. So 10 Grammys, 10 Dove Awards,
wow.
2 NAACP Image Awards.
Wow.
They've won Best R&B Album, Best Contemporary Gospel, Best Contemporary Pop Album. These are the real deal.
Okay.
And I've presented them a couple of times. I've had them with Manhattan Transfer, and they were part of the Georgia on My Mind tribute that we had with Clint Holmes and Kirk Whalum and Nina Freelon. The day before the pandemic shut down the world.
Yeah.
And they're brilliant.
That's
absolutely great.
Now, on Thursday...
Perfect for Valentine's, by the way.
Perfect for Valentine's, yeah. Thursday, March 7th at 7:30 p.m. is Tartan Terrors. Now, I don't know anything about Tartan Terrors.
So the Tartan Terrors are a Scottish rock band. So they're going to come out wearing their kilts, and playing bagpipes and electric instruments. And it's a rock concert. It really is. It's a rock concert featuring Scottish music. And they're a ball. And there's some dancing and some singing. And If you come, you're going to leave with a smile on your face.
And they'll be wearing kilts.
They'll be wearing kilts, yeah. They will.
There's an old Michael Myers joke about that, but we won't get into that.
That.
All right, first, quickly, I'm guessing, are any tickets still available for these two things?
For both, yeah.
For
we
both.
still have tickets available.
Still get it. And speaking of tickets, we're going to give you some information on screen now. The first thing is, check out the website, highpointtheater.com. It's got 2 T's in there. Remember when you type it in, highpointtheater.com. Now that gives you all the reason I love this website, it gives you all the details about the different acts and when they're coming up. You can really go into more depth than Dave and I have time to do. But the big deal right here is on screen too, 887-3001. That's the box office number, and that is the best way, according to Mr. Theater, the best way to get your tickets. Don't worry about scammers or anything else. Call that number.
You will save money if you call the box office.
Save money if you call the box office, 887-3001. Now, coming up next is the roundtable, so I'm going to formally invite you to hang around. Will you do that?
Thank you, sir. I will be
all right.
glad to attend.
Mr. Theater, and now I know all about how you bring acts in. It's pretty neat. Okay. You're busy all the time.
I'm busy.
All right, Dave and I'll be back with Ogie and Keith for the roundtable. We'll see you in a minute. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com.
The world's brightest are Fulbrights, Goldwaters, McNairs, and Spartans. Prestigious doesn't have to be expensive. UNCG. Find your way here.
Back now on Triad today, just about time for the roundtable, but a quick shout out to the good folks here at Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. It is beautiful out here year round, lots to do. You can rent the facilities. You can even rent these guys at the price. No, you can't rent them. You can buy them. On my right, but always a political left, Ogie Overman, the great broadcaster and journalist. Dave Briggs, we held over from a previous segment. Mr. Theater, we call him. Keith Bradbury, founder of Helping Hands Consultants. Guys, let's get to it. Last week, the U.S. Senate convened a hearing about the dangers of social media on kids, which ranges from everything from online blackmail and bullying to pedophiles stalking them online. Parents in attendance at the hearing even blamed social media. They said, well, it's social media's fault that all these things are happening to our kids, including suicide. Guys, is it fair to only blame social media, or should parents sort of regulate the supervised use of the internet? Ogie.
Well, a big part of it is social media, but you're right, the parents bear some responsibility. They've got to take some kind of responsibility managing their kids somehow.
Yeah, we have, I mean, people are beginning to call social media a weapon, and you've got now a woman that's going to jail for giving her son access to a gun, so if you give him access to social media. Dave, what do you think?
I think parents have got to take responsibility in it. These kids don't go out and buy their own cell phones. They're not buying their own computers. And the parents have to watch over what their children are doing. Now, the genie's out of the bottle. It's going to be tough to put it back in, but parents have to be parents and not just friends.
Key.
You can't put the genie back in the bottle. Parents have to regulate what their children are doing and make sure that they're monitoring their children and putting regulations on how much time they use on these cell phones.
Lawmakers in Minnesota are now debating whether to join 10 other states and legalize physician-assisted suicide. Guys, would you like to see North Carolina make physician-assisted suicide legal? Ogie.
Yeah, I would. I have for a long time, Jim. My wife and I have talked about it. If we get so disabled that there's no quality of life left, we're going to drink the hemlock, whether there's a physician there or not.
All right. Dave.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I want to be compassionate, and there are folks who are definitely in positions where it would be helpful, but a lot of these folks are the same folks that think that abortion is a great form of birth control.
So you're skeptical of legalizing.
Really skeptical.
Keith, legalizes physician-assisted suicide?
Well, I don't know how abortion and this go together, but I think that there should be no legalized suicide. It's just too much on the family, and I think that it should be carefully monitored because that could be a slippery slope.
All right, some medical practices, including ophthalmology offices, refuse to let patients know when their doctor has left and relocated because they don't want to lose your business. Now here's my question. Should the state legislature pass a law that requires medical providers to let patients know where your doctor has moved to? Ogie.
I've lost 2 of my providers this year, but they told me where they were going. I don't know why that would be such a big problem. If they're moving out of state, why would you lose their business? You're not going to go to Virginia to.
Some of them stay local, and they, you know. What do you think, Dave?
Well, I think that it is an issue because whether it's an ophthalmologist or your surgeon or your GP, if the practice closes or is bought by somebody else, I hate to see it be a law, but man, something has to happen.
Keith,
it should not be a law where they should get involved in whether a doctor's leaving, and you should know. I mean, after the first visit, you're going to know.
All right. West Virginia, do you think somebody will leak it?
Yeah, somebody will tell you.
West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin is hinting at running for president on the No Labels ticket. Now, if you hadn't heard of that, it's a bipartisan group, national group, and one of the board members is our former governor, Pat McCrory. Now, can Manchin win if he runs as an independent on the No Labels ticket? Or if he can't, who would he hurt most by his candidacy, Trump or Biden? Ogie.
Well, obviously he can't win. He's only going to gum up the works. I mean, Joe, what does he keep doing this kind of crazy crap? But I really think it'll be a wash. I don't think it's going to hurt either one or help either one of them.
Dave.
I think it would hurt Biden. He can't win, but I think he feels betrayed.
All right, Keith.
I disagree. He's going to hurt Trump because for all intents and purposes, he's been a Republican. He's in a Republican state. His ideals are Republicans. He's going to pull more Republican vote than he is Democrats.
All right. An increasing number of universities now offering courses that study the music and career of Taylor Swift. Given the high cost of college and the limited operating budgets of some universities, are you okay with colleges offering courses that study pop singers? Ogie.
Yeah, this is serious. I mean, there's Harvard, Stanford, big universities that over 25 are doing it. This is serious. I would take that course. Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Theater.
They've been teaching this type of course for a lot of years. If they want to spend their money doing that, whatever.
Keith, course on Taylor Swift.
I want to understand how Taylor Swift has won more albums of the year than Michael Jackson, Prince, and Whitney Houston combined. Why don't you tell me? Let's teach a class on the politics of Grammys. How about
she's a white girl dates a football player.
There it is.
That's the whole thing.
Michael Jackson.
All right.
More than Michael Jackson.
Well, Michael dated a football player. But anyway, all right. Finally, the average price of a ticket. Speaking of that, the average price of a ticket to the Super Bowl is now $9,600. It's expected to go higher next year. Guys, would you pay $10,000 to watch the Super Bowl, Ogie?
I think I'll stay home and eat pizza and watch it on TV. Jim.
For free. Dave, would you?
I'm with Ogie.
Yeah. Keith, would you pay $10,000 to watch the Super Bowl?
If you gave me $10,000, I would watch the Super Bowl, but I would be in my hotel room relaxing in Vegas.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't want to know.
Gambling with that $10,000.
We don't want to know. I don't want to hear
That's what I do with that $10,000.
All right. Well, that's all
you didn't say how.
No, I didn't.
You just said the game.
That's all the time we have. Oh, except for this. There was last week, a man was detained at New York's LaGuardia Airport because he had hidden 17 bullets in a baby diaper, said the TSA agent. I've heard of a loaded diaper before, but that's ridiculous. Did you get that? For all of us here on Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.